Can't stop us now. We've come too far. This is Empire Talks Back. I'm Wallace Allen here on the case for truth, justice, with the right information to help improve the situation. We have a program today that has three different guests for you. We're going to talk about Tulsa, Oklahoma. Young lady's grandparents were there when the mysterious, devastating attack on the black community was made. We have an event in Palm Springs this coming weekend. 3 days, 3-day takeover at a hotel. Legitimate music show. You'll love hearing about that. And we have our local heroes doing good things here in the city and county of San Bernardino, Riverside, Rialto in particular. We'll get a chance to talk to them. Meanwhile, my bottom line, the Robert Adams shooting by San Bernardino police looks like murder. A surveillance video depicting the July 16th shooting of 23-year-old Robert Adams shows a plain-looking dark-colored auto driving onto a parking lot. Simultaneously, a man with something in his hand begins walking towards the car, but suddenly turns and quickly takes off running away towards some cars parked near a wall. As he's running away, two men exit the car. One starts shooting. The man running falls to the ground. I'm told by authorities that the men in the dark-colored auto were police investigating an illegal gambling site and that the man shot was working as illegal security for the illicit operation and that he was running to a place of shelter from where he could shoot at the police. So the officer felt threatened and began firing. Robert Adams died with multiple bullet wounds in the back. Police say the object in Robert's hand was a gun. Robert's mother says that she was on the phone with Robert when he was shot. She says that she heard the gunshots that took her son's life. Was the object in his hand a gun or a phone? The video, as I see it, does not look like a police operation. The car the police are in does not appear to be a police car, nor do the men in the car look like police. The only thing that identifies this as a police operation is the police explanation of what my eyes see. My eyes, without the police voiceover description, see two men jumping from an auto, and after 2 or 3 steps, one immediately starts shooting at a fleeing man. I was enticed to be influenced by negative statements about Robert's past, enticed to believe that he was a bad dude that deserved to be shot. My logic injects that if Robert was all of that they say he was, why did they not arrest him sooner? Why wait for fate to put Robert on the table? Wait for fate to bring this bad dude to them during a police operation that the police say was based on investigating illegal gambling. That means that the police did not go to that site with Robert Adams as their subject of attention. If Robert were not their reason for being there, it appears that the description of Robert as a bad dude is a convenient afterthought to justify the killing. The video content does not look like a police operation. It looks more like a low-budget film depicting a gangland hit. Does police policy identify everyone that has a gun in their possession as someone police officers can shoot with indemnity? There are many people who have the right to carry a gun. How does the police policy deal with that? If officers have clearance to shoot because they feel threatened by someone that appears to have a gun, how does the public deal with that? Is it policy to shoot people because they run from police with guns who don't look like police? If police are threatened enough by people with guns to shoot them, surely we can understand why people are threatened enough by police with guns to run from them. If the San Bernardino Police Department policy allows for officers to wear unofficial-looking uniforms, drive plain-looking autos to go out to investigate, but somehow end up shooting first and figuring out why later, The city is both going to go broke from being sued and go to hell for being the devil. Robert Adams was a black man loved by his family and respected by his friends. And even the police who ended his life point out that he had a job. This is Empire Talks Back. I'm Wallace Allen. We'll take our first break and we'll come back and we'll have an opportunity to talk to a local hero, Shiro, Miss Farah Muhammad. Smile America. There's surely some great things to smile about. We're going to point them out to you.
KCAA Loma Linda.
Publish your legal notice in West Side Story newspaper. For the best service and the best rates, call 909-384-8131. Publishing legal notices in the city and county of San Bernardino since 1990. West Side Story provides friendly expert service. Call 909-384-8131 to benefit from budget-friendly rates. Whether a fictitious business name, a name change, a divorce summons, or any other legal or public notice, call West Side Story newspaper 909-384-8131. 909-384-8131. That's 909-384-8131.
This is KCAA.
We're back. This is Empire Talks Back. I'm Wallace Allen, here on the case for truth and justice. Listen, folks, I've been earning about 3% per week for over 3 months. Banks don't pay that much per year. If you want to know what I know, call me, 909-915-7922. Put your money to work, 909-915-7922. Start with as little as $100. Call Wallace. 909-915-7922. All right, we have Miss Farah Muhammad. How are you doing, ma'am?
I'm good, and you?
Good. Come in a little closer to that microphone.
I'm good, and you? I'm blessed. Thanks for the invite.
Thank you for doing the good work that you do. You are representing your organization, Smile for America, or Smile America.
Smile America, Abdi Foundation.
Abdi Foundation, and you are doing this work in the strong memory and celebrating the life of your brother.
Yes.
Okay, that's a little closer to that mic still. It's not Mike like Michael, a guy or something. And I know that you have your fiance here with you, and you may be not wanting to get too close to Mike. Well, the whole deal. So, but that's a microphone. Help yourself.
Thank you.
Get close
Thank
to it.
you.
Talk to it. Feel close. All right?
Thank you.
Tell us
Thank
about
you
your
for putting me on the
organization.
spot. Well, Smile America Abdi Foundation was started 09 with my brother Abdi Mohammed, who was killed 3 years ago, August 5th, 2018. It was out of necessity. We were, poor neighborhood, minority neighborhood. After school, there were no activities, there was no programs. We were surrounded by gangs, single parents. So he took upon himself to, after school, mentor the kids, talk to them. Let's do homework together, keep them out of trouble, And then we had nowhere else to go but the park. And it was at the park was our getaway. So we'd all meet at the park, and some would do the homework, others would, play ball, others will just share their problems.
So you guys saw a problem and decided to do something about it.
Yes.
You did not have a building to operate from and any of that stuff.
Nope.
But you had the park.
We had the park.
You had the interest in doing it.
Yes.
And did you go ask for permission from anybody?
Nope, we didn't ask for permission.
You just revolutionaries went out and did something that you thought needed to be done.
The natural way, the African way, you see a problem, you solve it.
Very good.
That's it.
Very
Yeah.
good. So how has that project grown? And you guys just did something last week.
Yes.
That was very important. You want to tell us about that?
Yes. So we've been continuing since then. My brother believed the notion of you do everything on your own. You don't go put pictures online, website, glorify. You come in, you volunteer, you donate whatever you can. Together we go help the people, have fun that day, and we leave. But after he was killed August 5th, 2018, the people he was helping kept on calling. I really had no interest of continuing doing anything after that, but the people he was helping, everyone kept on calling, and it also helped me to continue to with the loss and losing my brother. But then since then I changed it to Smile America because he was always known for smiley. He would smile no matter what.
Okay, all right.
America is where we grew up. And then his name, Abdi Foundation. So from there on, we've created a website. We now take pictures on the events
Okay,
of what
now,
we
so
do.
now we can understand that social media adds to the impact.
Yes.
It doesn't distract if you use it correctly.
Right.
And people who are on social media can work those thumbs sometimes more effectively than some of us with shovels.
That's true.
Okay,
That's
all
true.
right. I just wanted to get that part straight. You know,
Yes, yes,
We
yes.
do appreciate the hard work, but we also appreciate the smart and hard work.
Smart and hard work, and that's why we're here in need of support and get
So
the
what did you
word out.
guys do last week? Tell us what the object or what one of the projects of the organization has been this most recent activity.
Yes. As of last week, this is our annual back to school, getting ready. The kids go back to school. Make sure they have the backpacks. Make sure they have the supplies. So when they go back to school, they're ready and equipped and not distracted. Lack of resources and not be ashamed to go to school because that's what we experienced in our community growing up. Same thing with Thanksgiving. After Thanksgiving, kids don't want to go back to school. We didn't want to go back to school because we didn't have nothing to talk about. We had the great Thanksgiving dinner, family, friends were invited. We didn't have that, so that's why we do the Thanksgiving drive. We put together a box of food, a turkey, any other resources, toys, and same as Christmas, we put together a bag for the kids with latest toys, educational. So when they go back to school, they have something to talk about. They don't feel despair because that's what we went through. So those are some of the things that we do. We help the youth, at-risk youth in our community, seniors. We do weekly feeding. We feed the seniors.
Weekly feeding.
Weekly feeding. The homeless in our area, we feed them as well. So back to school, that's one of our ways what we started.
So where does
We're based in Rialto, California,
Okay.
but we get calls in San Bernardino, Fontana, and Colton, our neighbors.
and you of course take this out of your $1 billion endowment out of your personals. How do you handle this?
No, this is all collaboration. Collaboration from our businesses, local businesses in our community, our mayor, Deborah Robertson, other nonprofit foundations, churches. We partner with anyone and everyone who has the same mission and vision of sustaining our community and giving our youth a vision and a purpose to continue to reach their dream.
And so now you have your official 501c3.
Yes.
The fact that you started on basic desire and oomph and push did not do anything but actually draw more people to you so that you could get more cooperation and work with the city, other official businesses. And
Yes.
so that partnership
Partnerships. Yes.
is working well.
It's
And what
working.
else can people do to support you, and what's the next big thing you're doing?
We're getting ready for Thanksgiving and Christmas in order for us to continue and to reach more and to continue our service successfully. At this moment, we are in need of volunteers. We are in need of resources. We are in need of a space, most importantly, a safe space where we can expand our weekly food delivery.
How many people are you serving now weekly, and how many people did you serve with the backpack?
On the backpack, we gave out 1,000 backpacks. So we support over 200 families. Last year, it was 230 families. Our Christmas toy drive, we gave out 2,200 toys.
Okay.
Last year, Thanksgiving, we fed over 200 families. So we're growing and growing. So we are in need of a space where we can store and organize and reach out more so we can continue to serve more.
Very good, very good. How can people reach you and be of service and help?
Yes, people can reach us at info@sabdiv.com. So info, SABDIF.com. They can also reach us at 951-305-3261.
Very good. Well, Eric, take us up with our first break here, or second break, or I don't know how many breaks this is, but Ms. Farr, thank you for coming in, giving us an opportunity to be part of your organization, and we can do that by calling you at
951-305-3261. I just want to say everything we do could not be done without our people in the community, supporters, volunteers, partners. There are too many to name. I cannot name them all.
Sure,
but
you can. You could name every single one of them. Right
I
now,
want
we're
to
going to
thank
give you the next 3
everyone.
hours.
I want to
Let you
thank
do that.
everyone. I'm sure Wallace is available in the next 3 hours to let me name all my partners and supporters.
Very good. Listen, thank you very much, mainly for what the work that you're doing, and too for sharing it with our audience.
Thank you.
This is Empire Talks Back. I'm Wallace Allen. We'll be right back after this short break and have an opportunity to talk about this great music festival that's taking place in Palm Springs this coming weekend. A 72-hour takeover. Taking over the hotel, taking over everything, your mind, your brain. Come on, down. Be here. Right after this break, we'll maybe even get a few tickets away. Who knows?
If you've ever been held down.
KCAA Loma Linda.
Publish your legal notice in West Side Story newspaper. For the best service and the best rates, call 909-384-8131. Publishing legal notices in the city and county of San Bernardino since 1990. West Side Story provides friendly expert service. Call 909-384-8131 to benefit from budget-friendly rates. Whether a fictitious business name, a name change, a divorce summons, or any other legal or public notice, call West Side Story newspaper 909-384-8131. 909-384-8131. That's 909-384-8131.
Miss your favorite show? Download the podcast at kcaaradio.com.
All right, we're back. This is Empire Talks Back. I'm Wallace Allen. I know I told you we're going to talk about the concert and all that stuff right now, but my friend Leah Cash is here, and we're trying to talk a little bit about her grandparents who were in Tulsa, part of that great community, people, black community that was doing so well. Many call and refer to it as Black Wall Street, mainly because the community accepted segregation as a fact and allowed that they, as a black community, needed to be self-sufficient and that they could be self-sufficient. Leah, hi, how are you doing?
How are you, Mr. Wallace Allen?
God is great. I'm extremely grateful, and thank you for asking.
It's good to be here.
Good. So I'm trying to talk about something that you are the super expert about. Tell us about your grandparents. You've got many stories that you are willing to share with us, but we're going to do them kind of one at a time, and let's pique the interest of our audience by you just giving us a little background on your grandparents and break into one of the one story that you've thought of today to tell us.
Okay, my grandfather's name is Jack Scott, and my grandmother's name is Daisy Scott. And how I got interested in this is because of their daughter, their 9th child, my mother, who was really interested in her heritage because of the fact that she was inspired by Roots, Alex Haley's Roots.
Okay.
And then when that happened, my grandfather's will was found. And when his will was found, because Jack and Daisy Scott had 12 children, the discussion regarding some of the assets that were in his will were discussed among all of the children. And then at that time, Eddie Gates was doing I don't know if it was a documentary or what it was, but it was in regards to seeking reparations for those who are descendants of the Tulsa Race Riot. So my mom in her research had been contacted by Eddie Faye Gates. And in that process, my mom said her brother Julius and her sister Juanita still live in Tulsa, and both of them are survivors of the Tulsa Race Riot. So then the whole discussion shifted from my grandfather's will to talking about being descendants of the Tulsa Race Riot. So with the research that my mom did, and then me being a newspaper writer and loving to write, she pulled me into it.
Good for her.
And so when she pulled me into it, I started investigating a lot of information. And today I have like 8 or 9 binders full of stuff
Yes.
regarding these 2 historic characters that lived in Tulsa.
Jack and Daisy Scott, your grandparents.
Yes. So my grandfather, Jack Scott, was a lightweight boxer. And he was
Lightweight in terms of his weight.
Yes.
Not lightweight in like, oh, he wasn't that good.
No,
Right.
lightweight boxer.
Very good.
And I have his boxing record
Okay.
from the early 1900s. And he was also a manager of other boxers. And my grandmother had big dreams. She wanted to be a cartoonist.
A cartoonist.
Yes. So the 2 of them married, and when they married, they moved and settled in Tulsa because Tulsa was the booming spot for African Americans. They were doing it all on what they call today Little Black Wall Street. So on the day that the riot occurred, my grandfather was one of the black men, courageous, that stood on that courtyard stairs to stop the lynching of that young teenager. And that's when the riot broke out. So, and everything on the black side was burned to the ground.
From the air, from the ground, from underground.
Everywhere.
Everywhere.
Everything was gone.
The amazing access to weaponry that was demonstrated in the destruction of Black Wall Street, of the black community of Greenwood, Tulsa. Wish that we could say that was the only incident, but that's the one that we discussed. But there were at least 100 other situations where black communities were doing well and aroused the curious jealousy of their desire to be supremacist people around them.
Yes. So my grandfather and several other black men were arrested for indicting the riot. And it's interesting that you say that because the language because I have all the court records. The language in the court records, these men were blamed for inciting a riot in our peaceful community. And in that peaceful community, lynchings were going on left and right.
Peacefully, though.
Peacefully.
Yes.
So, and then everything was burned to the ground. So there went my grandmother's dreams and ambitions because of the fact that she is the oldest known. I've researched and I've not seen any other documented female African American woman that's done political cartoons.
And had them published.
And had them published on the front page of the newspaper, which was Smitherman's newspaper, the Tulsa Star. And he was like an advocate, and he was aggressive, and in his newspaper, he spoke out about the lynchings, and my grandmother did her drawings, her political cartoons.
And you have those cartoons?
I have them.
So
and
you,
then on top of that,
you-
one of them,
it-
one or two of them, you could put in the newspaper today.
Well, see,
to see
that-
how
that's my
some
next
things
thing
have
there.
not changed
Yes.
between Republicans and Democrats, because that's what she did drawings on and did different things on in regards to that and the injustice that was going on. So when we think about the lynchings and the segregation and all of that, and I think about my grandmother in 1918. Her bravery
Yes.
was incredible.
So the after the riot, after the I don't want to call it it was a riot because the white community rioted. The black community was trying to defend itself. So I hate to make it sound like something that they used terminology now to blame the victim for his response to years and years of abuse, torture,
and
terrorism,
injustice.
and things of that sort. Yes. How your grandparents had 10 children, 12 children.
They had 12 children.
Some obviously before and some after this riot. So what was life like as you read it? Well, tell us.
They rebuilt.
They rebuilt. That
rebuilt.
whole attitude.
They
yes.
rebuilt, but my grandmother did not rebuild her dreams. Later in life, there was a brochure that came in the mail about becoming a cartoonist, and she kind of started building her dreams that way because of the fact that they wouldn't be able to know that she was African American. I researched and I found a copy of that actual brochure, and it's all white males.
Did she actually? Because she was a person who was commenting on life around her. She did it in the form of the cartoons. Is there any other? Did she write it? Do any writing?
No, it was all drawing. She wanted to be an artist, a cartoonist, a political
Did
cartoonist.
she have any other drawings?
No.
No artwork
Nope.
at all?
She just did those.
So
for the
this
newspaper.
rebuilding of Tulsa that your family actually was part of,
Yes.
that attitude, the functionality of doing something coming out of that devastation, do you talk about or have some of the documents that demonstrate what they were doing, how they put that together?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, how my grandparents, rebuilt, yes, and where they moved and all of that stuff. Yeah, because many people left Tulsa. They migrated, going south and going west, but my grandfather and grandmother stayed in Tulsa. They lived in those tents. And I.H. Spears, which was my grandmother.
Lived in those tents.
Yes. Yeah, because they were put in a camp. Because everything was burned to the ground. There was
Right.
not one house standing. Nothing.
So when we say they were put in a camp,
Yeah.
and that means, and some people
In
left
the
and
Red
some people
Cross
chose
camp.
to stay. So there was a Red Cross camp.
Yeah.
How long do you know? How long did they stay in that? How long
No.
was it before they were able to actually rebuild? None of that.
No, I don't know, how long they stayed in those camps.
Okay,
But they did rebuild.
very good. When can we get you to share a bit more about your family's experience in Tulsa and the rebound and how things are going with the reparations movement?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Yeah,
I can
well,
find
you know,
out a little bit
reparations,
about
it-
that because for the 100th year, commemoration, I flew to Tulsa last year,
Yeah.
and we were privileged to be with a whole lot of descendants. And
I mean, Tulsa's got a lot of oil. I imagine some of it, I understand that the freeway was built over much of what Greenwood was.
completely
Yes.
built over.
So if they're getting any oil out of there, there'd be slant drilling from there. But the concept of reparations is being discussed
Over and
as
over
though it has
again.
never took place in time or from our government before.
Mm-hmm.
Now that we talk about doing it again, or talk again about doing it for black folks, descendants of slaves, descendants of
The riot.
the riots like Tulsa, etc. But the country has paid reparations to many people in the past. As a matter of fact, we note that they paid reparations to slave owners in Washington, D.C. because of their loss of free labor. Listen, Leah Cash, it's a pleasure to talk to you. I'm looking forward to the next time we have an opportunity to talk about your family from Tulsa. Maybe we'll get an opportunity to look at some of those cartoons, and we would love to publish them in West Side Story. I know that I could get permission
Well, I've
to
done,
do that.
yeah, because I've done many stories on them.
Very
many
good.
stories.
We're going to take this break and come back with the 72-hour takeover down in Palm Springs coming up this weekend as we get away from the devastating takeover of Greenwood, Tulsa by the jealous community of wannabe supremacists that took place in 1925?
1921.
1921 in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Leah, thank you for sharing. We'll be right back right after these messages.
This is KCAA.
Publish your legal notice in West Side Story newspaper. For the best service and the best rates, call 909-384-8131. Publishing legal notices in the city and county of San Bernardino since 1990. West Side Story provides friendly expert service. Call 909-384-8131 to benefit from budget-friendly rates. Whether a fictitious business name, a name change, a divorce summons, or any other legal or public notice, call West Side Story newspaper 909-384-8131. 909-384-8131. That's 909-384-8131.
Wow, we're back. This is Empire Talks Back. I'm Wallace Allen, the tall one. Well, I'm not really tall, but I'm here with someone who has a nickname Shorty. So I guess if she's Shorty, I'm gonna be Tally because I got about 3 or 4 inches on it. How are you doing, Miss Shauna?
I'm doing good, sir. How you doing?
God is great. I'm extremely grateful, and giving me that opportunity to say it again is delightful.
Me too.
Yeah, absolutely. So you are part of a team that is operating in a cultural takeover of sorts down in Palm Springs this coming weekend. Tell us about your event.
So I'm doing a Turn My Music Up Fest.
Turn My Music Up Fest.
Yep.
Okay.
We're Live Your Life Productions, and we're putting on the Turn My Music Up Fest at the Margaritaville Resort in Palm Springs.
The Margaritaville Resort.
Yeah.
Some of us might remember that as
the Riviera.
Ah.
Yeah, it used to be the Riviera.
Okay.
Yep. So now it's the Margaritaville.
They would do a little gambling and stuff like that.
Yeah. They have
Does
Sammy
it still have a
Davis. Sammy
casino
Davis
there?
Jr. used to perform there.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Well, it looks like I'm going to be there.
I hope so.
Yeah, because you just put me up with some really nice tickets. Or no, these are the giveaway.
I got your VIPs because you're VIP.
Okay,
I can't just give you any old
okay,
tickets. I
okay.
got to put you on.
Very good. I've been given a couple of weekend pass.
Yeah,
These
weekend
pass
passes.
tickets?
Yeah, those are weekend passes.
These are weekend pass. I have 2 of them, and I'm going to give them away. Am I going to give them to somebody that calls in?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do that.
Maybe I'm going to give them away to somebody that get on the somebody who could use these to raise funds for their organization.
Yeah, something like that would be
Somebody
great.
that could take a couple of great tickets and go out and raise. If I gave you $200 worth of tickets, you could probably go raise about $500-600, huh?
Yeah, we sure could.
I'm asking you, Miss Farrah, talk to me now.
Yeah, the
Is
gift
that-
that gives back. That's absolutely wonderful.
Let's do that.
Yeah.
Miss Farrah, would you come over here, please, from Make America Smile, America Should Smile. Okay, at the Abdi Foundation, presented to you by, and present those
All
tickets
right.
to her.
This is from Live Your Life Productions. Make sure you give these to somebody who needs to come turn their music up.
Yeah, I will.
All
Thank
right,
you
all
very
right,
much.
no problem.
Use those tickets to make some money. Do a drawing or
Yeah,
something.
do something.
We need
Do a raffle.
turkeys and toys for the kids.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, as long as you're making money for the kids, Heck, I'm not going to say what I won't do, but I'll be helpful, I promise.
Yeah,
Okay?
absolutely.
So you're taking a 72 hours, 3-day show.
Yeah, so we're starting on Friday with Joe Torre. He's going to start with his comedy show with friends. He has Torrey Hart. We
What
have
time
Memphis
Friday
Will.
is he start?
8 o'clock.
Friday night?
Yep, 8 o'clock to 12, 8 to 10, comedy. Then after that, we're going to do Sugar Free with Sherelle and Slave.
Okay.
And Tanya Banks from Little Women of L.A. We're going to have a pajama party. So you can come wear them pajamas, with the checkered pants and the.
What about night shirts?
Oh, yeah, you can definitely wear a little night shirt. Yeah. Stay away from me, though. I don't want you smiling at me and nothing,
In honor of my father.
Yep, absolutely.
He was a night shirt guy.
Oh, okay. All right.
When he passed recently, and his collection of night shirts is amazing.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, hey, we may be able to give away some night shirts, raise some money for
yeah.
But yeah, so go on now.
So
that's Friday night, and you're going to end up Friday night with a pajama party.
Yeah, we're going to pajama party concert. It's a full-blown party.
The interesting aspect of that, again, is that you're taking over the hotel.
Yes, absolutely.
I understand that pretty much 90% of the bookings there will be people that are coming to your show.
Yep. They're all coming to party.
It's going to be hallways, parties.
Yeah, parties and old school, grown and sexy.
My goodness.
Yeah. So
Old
then
school.
Saturday we're gonna do a car and bike show in the morning time.
Okay.
And you can bring out your old school Pontiac. I don't know what you got. I know you got a Cadillac. You got something.
I've got 7 Rolls Royces, 15 Bentleys.
Okay.
And none of them belong to me.
Okay. Well, bring a picture of one of them to the car show.
I could bring you some pictures of some
Okay,
cars.
yeah. Bring me a picture of
some
one.
pictures of some cars. No, so you're having a car show.
Yeah. And then after the car show, we're gonna go to a pool party, but just right in that same area, and do Second to None. They're gonna have that, and we're gonna have a few other artists and 3 awesome bands that are gonna play during that time. And it's gonna just be rocking and rolling by that pool.
All day Saturday.
Yeah, all day Saturday. And then Saturday night, we got the Daz Band, Changing Faces, a couple other house bands coming in, and we're gonna party on up on that.
So these tickets must cost about $3 or $4 million.
No. And then let me finish. And then on Sunday, we got Rolls Royce. And they're doing a day party and bringing in the cool vibes on Sunday.
Okay.
So what we did was we made the tickets $100 because we want everybody to be able to come.
All right.
For the whole weekend. Because I know the gas is $10 million.
Well, I tell you what, you don't want to drive to Palm Springs and then drive back to LA.
Yeah.
To Palm Springs.
So get a room and
get a room.
Yeah, get a room, $169 a night. We still got some available. We have different other hotels in the area that we can put people with so they can get them a room.
Okay.
Get them a ticket for the $100. Come party with us.
Well, suppose you had some real, you know how old school people are. They say, well, I'm going to be at the party all the time. I just need a little room to sleep in. Do you have some inexpensive rooms?
I can probably try to find some. I don't know. You might have to go on down to the Motel 6.
Go find a place where you can sleep 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah, you better bring a blanket.
Go buddy up,
So, that'll be all right.
That sounds like a really good time. I was excited when I saw your flyer, and the reason I was excited was I heard how successful it was without me ever having heard about it.
Oh, okay.
And that's exciting to know that you guys are doing your job.
Yeah,
you're
working hard.
Producing and you're making this thing happen.
Yes, sir.
And conceptually, of the idea of taking over the hotel for 3 days, bringing them business and utilizing that great facility they've got down there. They've got some beautiful hotel rooms.
Yeah.
And I think you're going to have a great time. How long have you been doing this?
Probably about over 10 years now. Yep. So.
You look like you're about 17 now.
I know. I've been blessed.
Okay. All right. Good deal.
To not wear my stress.
And you don't wear your stress. That's
Absolutely.
a good deal.
So.
And are you from the local area here?
Yeah, I'm right out here. My office is in Ontario.
Okay.
I'm an Inland Empire native.
Perfect.
So,
no. Inland Empire native.
Well, I'm from the Inland Empire.
Okay. Well, no. I mean, did you go to school or anything out here?
Yeah, I went to school in Chino Hills.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that makes sense. You were down there with those ball boys. Huh?
Yeah.
Really?
The Bulldogs.
The Bulldogs.
Yeah.
Good deal. Well, I'm really happy to note that you are able to get this done. What else are you guys looking forward to doing?
We're going to bring a couple of more shows to California and out of state as well. So when we come back here and do more events, I'll make sure I tap in with you and give you some more information.
Very good. Very good.
Yeah,
Well,
keep you in the loop because you're an important person.
well, I'm telling you what, you get around people like Anthony Garcia, the Mood Master.
Yeah.
And you get to know a lot of people, and I get a little rub off of his great reputation.
Well, maybe he can come bless us on the stage with a little bit of that on the weekend, right?
Oh,
Yeah, because he's jamming over there.
Yeah, he's quite capable of doing all the good stuff that you need to have done. So, since you're from the local area, what other things are you involved in?
I try to do charitable events, housing for veterans, I'm working on that.
Okay.
Homeless, me and my buddy are doing some things for the homeless in San Bernardino. I was just talking to that nice lady over there and try to get her some turkeys for Thanksgiving.
Okay, for Farrah and for Leah.
Then I usually do toy drives on Christmas for the kids. And I'm always looking for places to give the toys to. So meeting these people here today with these nonprofits would be awesome to give them these presents.
Very good.
Yeah, help more in the community because we need it in the Inland Empire. We got to stick together.
No, we do.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
We definitely do. Are we ready do we need to take a shot here, Eric? Okay, we're going to take this short break, and we're going to bring Miss Leah back over here because I know she had something. I could look at her, and I could see that she had something else she wanted to tell us. And you can hang around, too.
All right, turnmymusicupfest.com. You guys go get your tickets and see you this weekend.
Say that again.
Turnmymusicupfest.com.
Turnmymusicupfest.com. And we still have some tickets.
Yes, we do.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Get you to print me something out. We'll make a little ad and put in the paper too.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
All right. Thank you for your time.
Not a problem.
All right.
We're going to take a break. This is Empire Talks Back. I'm Wallace Allen. We're here on the case for truth and justice with the right information to help improve the situation. See you back.
A long way to go.
KCAA Loma Linda.
Publish your legal notice in West Side Story newspaper. For the best service and the best rates, call 909-384-8131. Publishing legal notices in the city and county of San Bernardino since 1990. West Side Story provides friendly expert service. Call 909-384-8131 to benefit from budget-friendly rates. Whether a fictitious business name, a name change, a divorce summons, or any other legal or public notice, call West Side Story newspaper 909-384-8131. 909-384-8131. That's 909-384-8131.
KCAA.
All right, we're back. This is Empire Talks Back. I'm Wallace Allen. Hey, on the case. Truth and justice, very, very, very evasive thing. Especially when you have people who are on top of the world willing to try to turn it upside down using lies, using fake you out, things of that sort. But folks, if you've been in America, if you've been here 20 years, you understand that you're in a situation where thinking critically is critical. Critical thinking is something that everyone has access to, and those who are in power and of heavy influence try to make you not use. They want you to stay busy. They want you to stay occupied, surviving. And there's nothing wrong with being occupied with survival. You know, I mean, some of those people are probably pretty happy because they're not able to see around the corner the big truck headed at them in the lane that they're occupying. Surprised by misfortune, surprised by catastrophe. The people in Kentucky, surprised by flooding, surprised by climate change, despite the fact we've been talking about it for 20 years, and despite the fact that the politicians that are in charge of their response to climate change, to the preparation to stop the flooding, that we look back, we find that this isn't the first year that they've been flooded. But somehow they've been allowed to build back into the same flood channels. And the governments that we are paying, electing to protect us, can do no more than what we want them to do. So evidently we want them to be slipshod, we want them to be felonious, we want them to be fraudulent. But there across the horizon, we see there are some who are sticking their hands up for righteousness. There are some who are still occupying that lane of, no, we're going to be free, we're going to be self-sustaining, and we're going to be fair. I hope that you're one of those that are willing to stand in that lane, despite the pressures to not be fair, equitable. We just lost a person who was a billboard for freedom, a billboard for equity, a billboard for stay out of my way if you are talking crazy. Bill Russell, that's who we're talking about, Mr. Bill Russell. He was a great basketball player, a great humanitarian, a man of honor, a man of success, a man of productivity. He won tremendous championships as a basketball player in the city of Boston. He was a basketball player, he was a basketball coach. But more importantly, he was a man of stand up. Stand up straight, be straight, do the right thing, and don't grin in my face faking. He was before his time, but not really. I think we're just behind our time. But Bill Russell passed. All the specifics and particulars of his life you'll be hearing about, for the next couple of days until something else flashes by. But remember that name. Remember, more importantly, that he was a black man playing in the city of Boston on a championship team, and he commanded respect in a city that did not, and in some cases people say still does not, and if it did, it would be unusual to find a city that completely is equitable in the United States of America. Now, being fair, being open, means that you've got to accept things that maybe you don't like. It's okay to don't like apple pie and, don't eat any of that. It's okay to don't like Rolls Royce cars and not want to buy one with your money. But it's not okay to not like the fact that the black woman wears her hair a certain way in the office, and it just seems to be so aggressive, and it may be hurting my feelings. Or to hear the truth about slavery, to not believe that slavery was a cute little thing that, where you just had people serving you and, they were so happy to be your little buddy that just did everything you wanted and wipe your butt and all that stuff, To find out that these people, these enslaved people, were not enjoying their position, that they didn't enjoy being separated from their families just because they were recognized as a family, boiled in oil, treated real bad. Any white man, woman, person, during the enslavement period could pretty much do anything to any black person that they wanted to do. The only thing that could generally stop them was the white person that owned them saying, don't do that to my slave. And then they didn't call him that, call him something, Okay, so we've gone through that. And there's people who don't want to hear about that. There's people who don't want to hear nothing about what Leah Cash has got to say about Tulsa, Oklahoma, and how well black folk were doing until the jealousy of the non-black community came out. So how do we get past that? Well, we've been getting past it, black folk. Come on. It ain't nothing. It's COVID. It's the continuation of racism. It's climate change. But how you get knocked off don't really make a lot of difference. And we have been fighting that survival ever since we've been to America, and prior to that, obviously. And everybody's going to do that. And we're going to say it's really been hard on us. And, and it has. But let's not ignore what happened to the Native Americans that occupied this continent prior to the coming of the European. And what happened to them after the arrival. Man, a lot of progress has been made. A lot of great things have occurred, but we cannot ignore the fact that we have really created some reasons to pray and ask for forgiveness, as the Pope has done as he went into Canada this week. But asking for it and getting it are two different things. But you got to ask for it, because that's the first thing that frees you. And then getting it is the thing that represents freedom for those people who can finally somehow set aside the torturous, terroristic things that have happened to their family in the past, and to go forward with some enthusiasm. And we see that taking place. I can tell you, Leah Cash can talk about her grandparents and what happened to them in Tulsa, but the next breath is going to talk to you about her son and the great project that he's working on that'll impact the future in a tremendously positive way. All of that takes place under the cloud. Oh, there's some sunshine that breaks through now and then, but it's still under the cloud of racism, of desired white supremacy in a place that is still the greatest country on the planet. So we have this conflict, but in the conflict we also have success. I guess that's what makes it conflictuous. You've got success and failure taking place at the same time, on the same stick, on the other end of the stick, sometimes in the same lane. But we have to work through it. We've got babies that are born right after grandparents had died. World goes on. It's a big circle. Now, what do we concentrate on? What do we function on? What do we use as fuel to go forward? But we got to go forward. You're either going to go forward or you're going to be treading water. Hey, and treading water is not easy. But if you don't go forward, you keep treading water, pretty soon you're going to probably get tired and sink. Don't get tired. Don't get scared. You have access to whatever you want and need. It's inside of you. It's there. It's drive. It's a desire to make it better. It's a memory of that smiling face of your mother, that smiling face of your lover, that smiling face of your child that says, hey, we're going to go forward here. I'm not giving up. Nothing to give up for. Everything to live for. Folks, you got a chance today to make it the greatest day of your life. Love somebody, reach out, touch somebody. Decide to do something. Decide to do something to help someone else. Call that person that you haven't talked to in years. Brighten their life up. You know who you could call. You know somebody that really likes you, loves you, respects you, and to hear from you would just make their day. You are somebody. Be somebody. Share that with the rest of us. God is great. I'm grateful for you. I'm looking forward to seeing you next week under two circumstances. One, if the good Lord's willing, and two, if the creek don't rise. God bless you. See you then.
KCAA Loma Linda.